doing a comprehensive tire review today on the Metzeler TD Slicks. I'm going to be giving an overview about these tires, do a quick mountain balance, and we'll take them to the track. These tires have been on the market for a few years now, and from what I've seen, folks seem to like them, myself included. I've ran these on 3 or 4 bikes now. They come in 3 sizes, a 180/60 rear, a 255 rear, and your traditional 120/70 front. Pricing as of March 2024 is $132 for the front, $185 for the 180, and $191 for the 200 rear. The TD Slicks are exclusively distributed by Moto Garage based in Colorado, and they are currently running a discount on the tires with promo code CLIBBINS, so save yourself some money when you order a set. The biggest feature about these slicks is no warmers are required, which is great if you're looking to leave the generator at home, show up to the track, do your warm-up lap, and go about your track day. I'm pretty bare bones with my track setup. I've got this Harbor Freight trailer that I pull behind a car, and despite owning a generator and warmers, space is a little limited, so I appreciate the flexibility of not always having to bring the generator and extra gas. In my opinion, these are a really easy way to get slick performance without a lot of effort. I've done the warmers song and dance before, and you got to get to the track early and get the warmers on for a good amount of time. You know, the bike is on stands between each session. You scrub the rocks off the tires, put the warmers on. Make sure you don't leave the warmers switched on when you go out or you'll burn them. Rinse and repeat for each session. And don't get me wrong, there are definitely pros to doing all of that when you're racing or when you want to come out swinging on your first lap out. Maybe you're trying to conserve that warm-up lap worth of tire, but for track day purposes, personally, it's pretty nice not having to worry about all that. In addition, I really like how beginner-friendly these tires make it to run slicks at the track. Slicks can be intimidating with all of the more track-focused sizes and compounds available within the same model. And with these, the only one size will fit your bike, and that's it. No suspension changes are really required. There's one compound and it's extremely versatile. It works across a wide range of temperatures and track surfaces. For instance, I've ran these at Jennings GP where it's super coarse. I've ran these at High Plains Raceway where the asphalt is smoother. I've ran them in the winter where the ambient temperature is 50 degrees. And I've ran them in the dead heat of Florida summers. You just need to dial in the tire pressures and you can expect tons of consistent grip. I will flash up on the screen the tire pressure chart that I referred to. I do treat these kind of like street tires. I set the cold pressures, do a couple laps, and come in to check the tire wear and adjust pressures as needed. I've also got a set of Pirelli Supercorsa SC3 V3 and V4s, commonly known as Pirelli TDs, to compare to the Metzeler TD Slicks. A couple key differences here are that the Pirellis are DOT approved, while the Metzelers are track use only. Obviously there's siping on the Pirellis, and that's probably one of the reasons, aside from the different compounds, that the Metzelers are considerably longer lasting as well as reversible. So you can flip that rear, you can flip that front, and that's real helpful at a left or right turn heavy track to keep your tire wear uniform. So up first we have the fronts. This is not going to be a super scientific comparison. The TD is obviously worn, it's got a track day on it, but the profiles are pretty similar on the fronts, the 120/70s. The shoulder on the Metzeler TD Slick may come down just a hair, but it's negligible. What I find interesting is how similar the construction looks on the inside of both tires. You can see both have the same reptilian scale pattern and smooth center band. And the fact that Pirelli owns Metzeler probably lends to the reason why these tires share design cues and how they feel similarly at the track. And now we got a profile check on the 180/60 rears. Look pretty similar. The TD is obviously very worn. I wouldn't even put this back on a bike as a takeoff. With some street mileage on it as well. But again, with that internal construction, you've got that scale pattern on both tires, and that smooth center strip looks the same to me, and these ribs too. And lastly, we've got the 200s. This TD on the left is actually a 260. I didn't have a 255 on hand, and Metzeler's only making a 255 for the TD Slick. But you can see there is a noticeably pointier profile on the 260, as you'd expect. Metzeler does claim that their tires don't require changes to the bike when you use them. So I think they're taking into account if you put a 260 onto the back of, for example, my ZX-10, you could feel it took out a little bit of that oomph. You could feel the rear was definitely a little poised higher. So when you run a taller rear tire, there's just small things like gearing and suspension that you may or may not adjust for. But Metzelers are trying to make slick performance easily attainable. And then lastly, the internal construction of the 200s still have that similar ribbing and snake scale pattern, but the center rib is narrower on the Metzeler versus the Pirelli. I don't know if that's a 260 versus 255 thing or just a difference in the bigger tires, but overall still looks very similar. And lastly, I've just got the 180/60 next to the 255 for comparison. The 180/60 is actually a taller tire, while the 255 obviously is the wider, kind of flatter profile. If you're running like a 750 or a MT-10 or something like that, I would still opt for that 180/60. Get a better profile, a little lighter. But if you're running like 1,000, then opt for the 255. I wish I could compare these to the Dunlop Q5s as well. I've ran the Q3 Pluses and the Q4s before, and I thought they were great tires, obviously a stiffer carcass, but I found they'd get greasy at a quick pace or on a hotter day. I hear the Q5 solutioned those drawbacks, but I took a look on Revzilla the other day, and a 255 Q5 cost something like $340, which is a bit cost prohibitive since I could get a whole set of TDs or TD Slicks for the same or less. So without further ado, let's get these mounted. Alright guys, we are at High Plains Raceway. Got these Metzeler TD Slicks on. It's a second session, and these have been sitting for a while, albeit in the sun. It's like 80 degrees on the right shoulder, 70 in the middle, in the shade, 50 degrees. Similar on the front, 82 on the shoulder, 70 in the middle, 60 in the shade. No warmers. We'll go out, do our 1 and change warm-up laps, and we'll send it.
Rear's at 27 hot. HPR is a right heavy track. And I don't know, I can't really ask for much better wear than this. Right side's 147, 150 where I'm on the gas a lot. Middle 158. Left side 149, 154, 155. Check out the front. Middle 138, mid 130s. Shoulders seeing 123, 133. Mid 120s as well on the shoulder. It's 34 hot in the front. Can't complain. Like I said, come out here, do my warm-up lap. So I went out, did one lap, started feeling confident in the tires, another lap, and then straight to the hot laps. Tire wear looking good. Tons of grip. Has not come loose on me. Hasn't stepped out or anything. Except for user error when I unsettled the bike a little bit, going over some pavement or asphalt transitions where they had repaired the track. But no fault of the tire. Check the AIM Solo 2 here. We are in the mid 2s. Best lap 203. Consistent 204s. These tires are good for, you know, novice, intermediate, slow, advanced. Once you're at the super high paces, at that point you probably want to run like a true warmer required slick. But for my purposes, just come out here, throw the kickstand down, do my warm-up laps. Tires are good.